What is going on, nation? It is your boy C-Ton, coach of your Lehigh Valley Phantoms, bringing you our Week 1 battle and team builder against Andrew, coach of the Arkansas Razorbats. I'm not sure if Andrew has a YouTube channel. If he does, it probably won't be in the description right away, but I will add it once I hear from him based off of if he has that or not. But his team is on the right of your screen, and yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. From his team, I'm expecting Victini, Tapu Fini, potentially Wakanberry, Banded Scissor for U-turn momentum. It also gets Aerial Ace, which can hit my Buzzwole, which is going to be the traditional switch-in. Mega Altaria, probably a Dragon Dance physical sweeper. Jolteon will probably come because I don't have good electric switch-ins. It will probably be a Specs Jolteon. Because Shadow Ball also hits my two biggest switch-ins to ground type or electric attacks. I don't see Silvally coming because I have two Defiant users. Chansey has a pretty good matchup because I have a Primarina, and that thing is annoying to prep for, so Chansey might just be the default answer. Piloswine is a pretty good physically defensive Mann for the likes of Arrow if it wants to come, and Ice Shard Pressure is pretty good for the later half of my team. Kingler, I don't think has that great of a matchup. Bastiodon, I have no idea. Actually, I don't know what Kingler really does either, to be honest. I skipped over Track. Track has a good matchup. It'll probably have to be Choice Scarfed, though, because of the likes of my Thundurus. So, anyway, that's more or less the mons that I could see coming. I don't see Kingler or Bastiodon coming. I don't see Silvally coming. I don't see Serena coming. The rest of the team, I think, is pretty fair game. So, yeah, we're going to our prep. We have our Fire Horse, the Rapidash, physically defensive. It's just max. So, I was initially like 180 defense with leftovers for Victini, but I decided to him acknowledging that this was my switch-in, and then if he starts going for U-turns instead, the Rocky Helmet is nice chip damage, so it's not just free momentum for him. So then I made it max instead. This is also a tremendous switch in for the Serena, because obviously Serena's best coverage moves are drop kick, high jump kick, U-turn, so it will take Rocky Helmet damage on all of those. I'm going to sniffle. Sorry about that. Track obviously blows this thing back. It's a decent switch into Mega Altaria if it's not running Earthquake, because looking at my team, there's not too much of a reason that he'd need Earthquake, so it might not, come, especially if he's not expecting a defensive Rapidash. Coverage, Drillrun, Flame Charge, Toxic, Morning Sun. Pretty much just going to be clicking Toxic and Morning Sun, to be honest. Flame Charge was to get potential speed boosts to be able to outspeed the likes of Non-Scarf Tracheon, but I don't really see myself really clicking anything other than Toxic and Morning Sun. Next up, we got our Buzzwole, which has a really good matchup in this battle. Basically, we are rocking 192 HP, so that way our subs aren't broken by Seismic Tosses. Leech Life, Drain Punch, Poison Jab with Poisonium Z allows me to beat pretty much everything on his team. Poisonium Z plus Poison Jab guarantees knockouts on Tapu Fini, and depending on his investment, sorry, something just came off my computer. Depending on his investment, Poisonium Z could just knock out right away. I need to be careful with letting it get chipped down too early, though, because when it comes in at full, basically Primarina is the biggest Chansey lore, so make a smart double there, and then we can catch that Chansey, and we're in a really good position to set up a sub and start blowing through his team. Depending on if the Scissor has Aerial Ace, I can Drain Punch alongside that. Bulk Up was initially on the set, but I feel like the entire coverage is needed. Leech Life allows me to hit Victini and regain health. Leech Life is just a really good general stab. Same with Drain Punch. And Poison Jab allows me to take on Fairies better. So, speed tier is for no speed Fini, and I just realized that I forgot to put 8 EVs on this thing, so That was my bad. I guess I didn't have a fully EV'd Buzzwole because I'm an idiot. But anyway, moving on to our next set. We've got Wakanberry, Wonder Room, Primarina, same speed tier as the Buzzwole, to outspeed, no speed, Tapu Fini. Wonder Room is for the Chansey, in case I don't have the potential to set up on it. Sniffle. Wonder Room, for those who do not know, is reversing your defense and special defense stats. So instead of Chansey having the sky high special attack, it'll have the sky high physical attack, or physical special defense and physical defense, excuse me. So it will not be taking these Hydro Pumps or Moon Blasts very well at all. It becomes a guessing game for the most part because he has a couple Hydro Pump switch-ins and he has a couple Moon Blast switch-ins depending on the team that he brings. So it'll be dependent on what I click there, but without Chansey, he doesn't have that good of switch-ins in general to this. Wakanberry for Victini, Volt Strikes, and Jolteon's Thunderbolts. Biggest issue would be if Jolteon goes for Volt switches. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, moving on to our next Pokemon, we got Cloudy, the Thunderous Incarnate. 168 speed is to outspeed a potentially non-Choice Scarf Victini. I don't think his Terrakion is going to be running max speed, so I think it's safe for me to be dropping my speed tier down to Victini's. We're rocking Physical with Defiant this week in case he does bring the Jolteon. But not the Jolteon, the Silvally for a parting shot. I can get those Defiant boosts and boost up very easily. In case he doesn't have the Silvally, I have Bulk Up to boost myself. General Stabs for the entirety of his team. Superpower for Chansey pretty much entirely. I guess also the Piloswine if it comes. Wild Charge hits pretty much everything else on his team with the exception of Sarina, but I can use Crunch on that thing instead. So yeah, pretty straightforward set. Nothing too crazy here. 319 HP because it's a Life Orb number ending in 9. It's important to make sure you have those correct. So yeah, next up we have our Lockjaw Aerodactyl. Rocking Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and Pursuit. Pursuit to Pursuit Trap Victinis after they click Recreate. And then Stone Edge, Earthquake just hits everything on his team very hard. That's what I love about Aerodactyl. Its rock coverage allows it to hit pretty much everything, which is really nice. I was thinking about having Aerial Ace on it for Serena, but ultimately I don't think Serena's going to come. So I figured Earthquake would be better off, especially in a situation if I need to be hitting moves. We're hitting a 356 speed tier, assuming that his Choice Scarfers are being set to Thunderous. If he's setting them to Aerodactyl, they'd obviously outspeed me anyway. So again, not super concerned about that. Stealth Rocks, if I have the opportunity to set up rocks on something, obviously it will help a long way with dealing with the likes of Victini. And if Altaria isn't Mega Evolved yet, taking that 25% is really nice. He obviously has really good removal with Tapu Fini, Scizor, and Sarina. I think Silvally also got Defog in this generation, but again, I don't think that Silvally is coming. Tapu Fini defogging is also really dangerous because I do have the 2 Defiant users, so that's something to keep in mind. Last up, we have Latios, the exact same speed tier as Thundurus for the exact same reasons. Choice Scarf, just general stab, Psyshock, Draco, and Shadow Ball to hit Victini. This allows us to outspeed Choice Scarf Victini, so it's not as much of an issue. As you can tell, my biggest concern is with that Victini. It's pretty much that and Track are the only offensive presences, but Buzzwole takes on Track really well, so I'm not super concerned about that. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into the battle now. We are here with the battle now against Andrew. So at team preview, we see that there's no Terrakion, and we see that there's no Jolteon, which is really relieving. Jolteon was a huge issue for my team just in general. I pretty much relied on Lottie and Wakanberry Primarina, so I can afford to play risky with my Primarina on the Victini, since he does not have that Jolteon. So with that being said, At team preview, his only potential leads that I see are Chansey and Victini. So I'm just going to lead off with my Primarina since I have tech for both of those mons. And I feel like that's a pretty safe lead. Obviously, like I guess Serena could lead with U-turn, but I feel like that's pretty silly, personally, especially when I have an Aerodactyl. That's a pretty strong lead. I have U-turning Thundi, which is a strong lead. Lottie is usually a strong lead, so yeah. That's what we're going with here. We're going to lead off with our Primarina, and he ends up leading with his Victini. So turn 1, we're faced with a position that we were thinking about in team preview. We know Chansey is the best switch into the Primarina, so we're looking at clicking Wondroom or clicking Scald Hydro Pump. But with that being said, if I don't have Wakan Berry, this Victini will theoretically one-shot me with Bolt Strike. So I decided to play a little bit aggressive and try to catch, well, not play aggressive, but make a little bit of a safe read and try to catch this Victini getting greedy. And we throw off, I believe it's a Hydro Pump. Yeah, we throw off the Hydro Pump. It does a clean 17%. So now we're going to use the Wondroom as he sets up his rocks. He protects, which is nice tech. He's going to be able to scout out a little, or waste out a little bit of my Wondroom turns. And he makes another smart read and goes into his Kingler. Kingler has really high defense, so that in turn leads to having really high special defense right now. Since I did click the Moonblast, I figured there was a chance that he would go into his Victini, because it's the only thing that really switches into a Moonblast, sort of. And then he could try to go for the Bolt Strike and potentially try to knock me out. But again, that would leave me with really high special defense instead of defense, so I'd take it even better with my Wakan Berry. So that was a little bit of a misplay on my part, going for the Hydro Pump here. But we're in a good position. He has his Kingler in. We're just going to fire off a Moonblast to a clean 53%. This would have been a 2-hit KO if I wasn't being silly, and I would have had to take this damage. But alas, we still take it anyway. Oh, this Serena also comes in on, whatchamacallit, on water moves. I forgot this was here for some reason. I was still thinking it's a Tracheon. But yeah, we throw off a Scald this next turn because it hits pretty much everything that comes in. We got a really talented Scald burn here. That allows me to feel safe to fire off a Moonblast here, because we're going to live this Trop Kick and be in a good position, get off a clean 27%, and I get the secondary effects once again because I'm a talented player. So now at this point, he revealed that his play is Trop Kick. He probably doesn't want to take another Moonblast at this point because that'll leave his Serena at next to nothing. So I'm expecting him to either 1, Synthesis, or 2, switch out into his Chansey to take this hit. Either way, this is a free switch into my Buzzwole. So I go into my Buzzwole. If he Synthesized up, I would have gotten a free substitute off, and Trop Kick would not have been able to break my sub. If he had Play Rough, potentially, I'm not sure. I actually didn't run calcs on that, but I really doubt it with how much bulk I have in this Buzzwole and how naturally physically bulky Buzzwole is. But anyway, he goes into his Chansey, and this is a free substitute for me. So this is really beneficial for us. We're kind of playing this very well, and we're poised with a position. I initially clicked Poison Jab, and then I ended up canceling out because he was really taking long. So I assumed he was calcing for Poisonium Z. So I figured if he was running calcs for it, and it took him that long to make his decision, then I figured he felt he could live it pretty easily, depending on his investment. So I decided to cancel out and go for the Z Poison move. And he makes the smart play and decides to sack his Kingler, scouting for it. So really good play on my opponent's part here. Scouted out the Z move very well, but we get the Beast Boost because we're an Ultra Beast, obviously. This puts us in a range where Poison Jab definitely 2-hit KOs no matter what. So he pops our sub, and we're just going to get the kill this next turn. The speed creep worked very well, and the Poison Jab's going to get a kill. He switches out into Serena, which, I mean, I guess I understand to an extent, but Tapu Fini isn't doing too much the rest of the game regardless. I guess he can keep it for Rapidash, I guess. maybe. I don't know. It depends on what the rest of his team's coverage was. But anyway, we're here now with Victini in. The only way that he can kill me is if he goes for V create here. So at this point, I'm pretty much convinced that he is choice scarfed based off of turn 1, because turn 1 he didn't even flinch in going for the U-turn. He made his play very quickly, and if I was choice scarfed Primarina, I would have outsped and killed this Victini. So I'm very confident it is choice scarfed, and if he goes for the V create here, it will kill me, one, but it allows me to pursuit trap it with Aerodactyl, and this Victini is the only other offensive threat that I'm worried about in this matchup. So we're just going to stay in and go for a Leech Life. He goes for a Bolt Strike, anticipating the switch, which is a good play, but I have the Pursuit teched onto my Aerodactyl, and our health is pumped right back up. And at this point, you can kind of see where this game is going. He goes into his Altaria to fire off a return, which is his best chance of getting the kill. I end up living on 6 because of that Leech Life recovery, and the Poison Jab just one-shots this Altaria, and we outspeed both Tapu Fini and Chansey. So that's going to be a clean 6-0 for us week 1. Buzzwool picking up all 6 kills, so I'm really glad I decided to try it out. And yeah, basically I feel like in this battle it would have been obviously beneficial to get up rocks at some point, but having that Chansey be set up fodder for a Mann like Buzzwool allowed me to play this game a lot safer, especially when I was behind the sub on the Tapu Fini, because Tapu Fini traditionally beats Buzzwool 1v1, but being able to have that reliable way of getting up substitute on Chansey was really beneficial for me. Unfortunately, Thundy, Aerodactyl, and Lottie didn't get to hit the field this week, but maybe next week. Depends on who we're playing. But really good game to my opponent, and that is week 1 of the MSL. Until next time, guys. Peace.